this is my garden. So this was a 2020 project, a COVID project. This was completely bulldozed and redone. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I wanted a curvy pathway, and then everything evolved around that. Doesn't look like much now because everything is going into dormancy and it's not in full bloom, and the grass needs to be cut. But that is my greenhouse, and I grew tomatoes in there and peppers, and we built all of this ourselves. It was just my fiance and me, and I told him what to do and he created it. And the beds and the planting was all me. The structures he did, the stonework he did, the pathways, which are not perfect, he did that. And I call this my secret garden. I love this area, and I just laid those pavers down myself. They were leftovers from the old patio, and I like walking through here because when I'm in here, I feel like I'm in a different world. And everything is a mess. He added this rain barrel, and that's Frida. I love her, and I have a bench here so I can hide from my family when they're aggravating me. And it's a bit of a mess over here, but there's gonna have to be a big cleanup next spring, maybe early winter. And so this is the view of my patio from the secret garden, and this is the view. I like to sit here, and I like to feed the birds, and I like to watch the birds. And I have a fountain over there that I turn on. Right now I want the birds to find their own food, so I'm not feeding them currently, but I will soon, and then I will sit here and bird watch. So here I can overlook the garden. I really like this area because I feel like I'm in a different world. I feel like it's a little bit of a European look. That's the kind of garden that I grew up with. My parents were from Portugal. I lived in Portugal for about 4 years, and we started the love of gardening when I was 16. And so when we built this wall, I only had a few roses, and then I wanted to plant something in front of this wall, and I just thought roses, and then I added 12 more. which this is Lady Gardner. You could see her. I'm getting a bad angle. And I am a little whimsical, so I had these little things that I put here. And the door in here is a mess because this is actually an indoor door, and it's not doing very well. So this is going to have to be replaced. Inside my greenhouse, which is a total wreck at this moment, it is 96 degrees. I currently have not started heating it. These are my peppers, and I have about 3 peppers that I'm not sure if these are going to develop into anything, because there was another one somewhere. I know I have 3 of these. 1, 2, and another one somewhere. And it's not looking very good. But we'll see how that goes. And then these windows were salvaged from the garbage. They were already painted, and my fiance asked me if I wanted them because they were in the garbage, and I said I did. I didn't know how I was going to use them, and then he was away and I was playing in here, and I got the windows and they fit perfectly here. So this is kind of like a seed starting area, or when it gets colder, I put heat in there, and I can nurse some plants that need extra care. This sort of turned into a plant room, and I hate that I'm videoing this when it's so filthy in here, but so I made this arrangement. This was like winter things when it was too cold to be outside. My youngest daughter and I made this arrangement, and look, I have flowers. They all flowered. The cacti all flowered, except this one is flowering now. And I actually grew a pineapple. These are pineapples. And I actually grew one. It was about this big, and I ate it in about one bite. So I'm gonna give it another go, and probably won't do it again if it doesn't come out. But it's fun to watch. And my plants, which are imperfect right now, some are suffering because I kind of neglected this a little bit in the heat. This is my setup. I have a fan. That is for my tools. And I don't know how plants ended up there. I just do these things. And that's it for in here. My daughter thought it would be fun if I hung that there. And I wanted to get shades for in here, but they were like it was expensive, and I didn't want to spend the money, the solar shades. So I actually purchased 2 panels of these, and I strung them on some string, and it works. And it was like $12. So when it gets really hot, I can close this, and at the moment I just am keeping them open. Also, it is really beautiful to overlook outside when there's nothing outside, and so everything in here is green. And I have this little swing, and I can put it up out of the way, or I can lower it, and I swing here most mornings and I have coffee. And that's the greenhouse that he built me. And I have some parsley and thyme in here, and I'm keeping this covered because of the cold that's expected. And they didn't do very well inside the greenhouse. I think it was too hot for them. And I forget what this is called. Is it a kumquat? No, it's something, I don't remember the name. But just trying to espalier that because I'm waiting for this to grow, and then I'll pin that there. And this is a beautiful fireplace that is covered at the moment. And so this is it. My hopes for the next few seasons would be to get these rose bushes to grow up along the window, so when I'm inside doing the dishes, there's plants everywhere. I love gardening. I can smell them and see them. I don't know. And so that's it. This is my little garden. And I did document the start of this with the bulldozers and everything, but I haven't figured out how to upload that yet. And then this was also part of the project. So this was not here, and that was my idea because we had some of this in the old garden, and then we had to get new ones, and he did that. And it's not perfect, but I like that it has like an old feel, like an old charm kind of vibe. Not sure how to describe it, but even with all the leaves on the floor and the bumps and the unevenness, I really think that came out pretty good. And that's a total wreck because my neighbors are very close to me, and I am highly allergic to Virginia creeper, which is that red thing against the fence. And every year I get horrible reaction to it. It's sort of like a poison ivy type thing. So I got it, and now I don't want to touch it. So I have to, it's like birth. When you have your children, and then you say you don't want to have another one until you forget, and then you go on. That's sort of what I have to do. I have to forget that and come out here with gloves and long sleeves and tackle that. And this is the Rose of Sharon that I don't know why it did that, but between what's going on my side and what's going on her side, and some weeds and an old vine that grew up her pine tree, it's really a mess over here. That's a project for a different day. And I have bulbs in here, and I just put some pansies in there, and nothing great, nothing fantastic, but I really enjoy this space, and I take care of it primarily by myself because I really enjoy it. It just grounds me. And so that is the garden. And I have some clematis on there. Originally got that for the roses, and then I haven't put any roses climbing up here, but I have to have to think about exactly how I want this. I don't know, we decided to put grass here, and now that's not happening. And this side, for now, it's not happening. Have to figure that out. And that's it. These are my hibiscus. This one is white. It at its tallest was way up here, so I'm thinking it was about 7.5 feet tall. It loves this area, and it just now stopped blooming. And this guy is a Graham Thomas, and I believe that's a climbing one. And what happened was, in the summer, after we did this wall, and I decided that I wanted rose bushes all along here, I got 3 lady gardeners, and here she is. I love this rose, except that in the summer they bleach out really quick, but in the cool, they just have this like apricot tinge, and then the bud comes out like this, and I really like the fragrance. So I wanted to do like a hedge here, but then I was told about this rose at the garden center. This is the peace rose, and the smell and the bloom just blew me away, and so I put that here. And when I got it, it was about up to here, and it just loves this area. So now I don't know what this is evolving in a totally different direction than I was thinking about, but I don't hate it. So we'll see how that goes. So after these roses, I fell in love with this. I fell in love with the wall. I just felt like this was gonna be so pretty. I went back to the garden center, and they had buy 2 David Austin roses, get 1 free. So I acquired 12 more, and they were not doing so well. So that's why they were already beat up when I got them, and they have been in their pot. So I just, in the beginning of October, put them in the ground. So I expect that they'll do better in the ground. And I'm not sure I want this here, because I planted it because I thought we were getting cold temperatures sooner. And now I'm thinking, do I really want, I can have it around this window, but do I really want it here, or do I want it over there? But that's where most of my roses are, which they do not get any direct sun, but they do this area because we knocked down our big, 200-year-old, 100-year-old oak tree that was about 10 foot wide, and it just came like all the way, like it had like a huge trunk. So now it gets extremely hot in here. So I put the roses there, and they actually do very well, but this year we had a lot of rain, so I have a lot of black spot. This also was one of the roses that I got buy 2 get 1 free, and it's a little sick, but I think next year it'll be better. It gave off a bloom. I haven't really seen the bloom, but because it was really, really, really hot or raining all the time, it was crazy this year, I missed the bloom. And I think it was this one. I came out. Oh, there was two. Interesting. Well, missed that. And that's it. There's a lot of work to be done in here. I put a ton of bulbs. And I kind of want to redo this bed and add some, make the soil a little more fluffier. So for now it's staying like that. And then I will work on it next summer or next early spring, maybe late winter, and try to figure out how to make the roses grow up around here. Also planted this one, which, ow, it's a Claire Austin, and I love the shape of the little cup blooms. They're so pretty, and I love how it's growing. And actually, because they're in the shade, and I read that they can do very well in the shade. I'm not sure if it's back here or if I saw it on the website, but it can be planted in the shade. And so my vision for this area would be this corner to be trellised somehow with these climbing roses. So my ideas, I have a lot of ideas, and that's it.